Well, looks like their gravy train is over. Let's begin. The article says that the boss of electrical retailer AO World has banned hybrid working. John Roberts told staff that they were either in work or at home all the time. But he has warned those working from home that their jobs could be outsourced. He told his 3,000 employees that hybrid working, coming in intermittently, was banned. And he added, working from home, well, you might as well be working abroad, which is only one step away from outsourcing. Lockdowns led to the rise of so-called twats, TWATS, employees who only come in the office on Tuesdays, Wednesdays and Thursdays. I personally think that's a very good name for them, but anyway. But Mr. Roberts, who founded the Bolton-based business in 2000, insisted the company would choose who worked from home or not from now on. He told The Sun, if interaction between colleagues is important for you to do your job, then you should be interacting with them every day in the office. Mr. Roberts warned workers were cheaper in such places such as Bangalore, where so many call centres are placed. Other bosses are privately concerned that those who do not come in, particularly the younger workers, fail to make an impression and risk being passed up for promotion. Amazon boss Andrew Jassy has called staff back in 3 days a week, saying that they will be more engaged. Wednesday is now the most popular day to be in the office, according to Virgin Media O2 Business. Well, of course, I don't know about you, but if I was running my own business, then I would want someone to be in the office or in the location of work, not sitting on their bums at home waiting for either calls to come in or maybe accidentally, having Netflix on in the background, because let's face it, their productivity would surely be lacking behind if they were at home, wouldn't they? Because of those things, it's so much more easier to do other things when you're at home, like, oh, hang on, I need to put the washing out. I'll just put that on quickly for 5 minutes. Oh, look, something's now starting on TV. It's about time for my break now, isn't it? And so it goes on. But remember, it's not only the bosses that feel the inconvenience of these people at home, it's us customers as well. I mean, how often during the pandemic did you call up to speak to a customer service line at a company when suddenly you get a message saying, oh, our staff are working from home, it may take longer, and you were sitting on the phone for ages. And in some cases, call handlers did seem quite distracted whilst we're talking to him on the phone. And technically, he is right, isn't he? I mean, if people opt to work from home, then technically they could be anywhere in the world, couldn't they? Because they're not in the office, and therefore they could technically be cheaper for quite a lot of businesses to outsource their work to other countries. Not that they should do, by the way. That would be bad for our UK economy. But hopefully those people who work from home, or the people who do hybrid working, or the twats as they were known there, do take notice of his warning and will actually turn up to the office like the good old days before the pandemic, where, let's face it, quite a lot of us used to work normally. And if I was their boss, at the end of their shift on Thursday, I'd be like, see you next Tuesday, if you know what I mean. But how long seriously is this going to keep going on, with people just taking a mickey, it seems, and doing as much as they can to avoid going into the office? I mean, take the civil service, for example. Apparently quite a lot of them are still at home, but you presumably, of course, are totally fine going around supermarkets and things like that, so therefore surely can't use that excuse anymore. I mean, let's face it, 99% it seems of the UK has actually gone back to normal, so I think these last few people from whatever companies should also go back to normal and go back to work, because it will affect the businesses and their customers, which is not a good thing. Now for some good news, because the price cap on bills could fall by more than £1,200 for the average household when it is next updated, experts believe. But because the government's support, which has artificially lowered bills, will fall away, households will only be around £437 better off next year on average. Their experts said that the price of electricity will drop to 29.55 pence per unit at the start of July, from 33.2p today, with government support. Energy industry consultancy Cornwall Insight analysed the data, and gas prices will fall from 10.3 pence today, including government support, to, wait for it, that's right, 7.55% in July, which obviously doesn't sound that a lot, but hopefully it will add up. Anyway, and that will mean that the average household pays around £2,063 per year for their gas and electricity, though this will vary based on how much energy they use. The price cap can be changed again in October to bring the average bill down to £2,098 before hitting approximately £2,163 next January. The current government support means that average bills are around £2,500. Dr. Craig Lowry, a principal consultant at Cornwall Insight, said energy suppliers might start offering more deals to lock customers into a fixed price for a year or more, and these deals could give customers certainty over the price of their energy bills and protect them if prices start to rise. However, it is a gamble for households because they will lock in the price, and if energy costs fall further, they could be left out of pocket. And Dr. Lowry said that as the wholesale energy market has levelled out in recent weeks, our predictions for the price cap have followed suit. Some energy suppliers will potentially look into leveraging this opportunity to bring back fixed tariffs on or around the price cap, with stable projections low and concerns that they will lose out over the fixed term. We are faced with several uncertainties though as we look beyond the July price cap, with ongoing consultations that could potentially bring changes. Well, do you know what? It's about time, isn't it? I mean, for far too long it seems that we've heard that companies, they've got to put their prices up, but strangely at the same time they've had all these bumper profits, haven't they, with billions of pounds in their best years and everything like that, whether they're petrol and diesel sellers, supermarkets, and of course energy companies. So I for one am looking forward to paying much lower prices, hopefully in the longer term. And yes, I know that at the moment it may only fall between £30 or £40 a month, but that is still better than nothing, isn't it? But I am holding on to hope that when the madman overseas has finished trying to basically take over everywhere, that the prices might fall further still. Of course they'll go up a bit in January because of the winter months, but hopefully they might fall further after that, which would be awesome, as I'm sure you'll all agree. Because let's face it, a couple of years ago we were probably paying between £80 and £100 a month for both and didn't really pay too much attention to it, and now we're paying around £200. I mean, that is a massive difference, isn't it? And if it was anywhere else that raised their prices like that, I'm sure they'd have all sorts of customer protection agencies on their back, and maybe, who knows, they could even be on Rogue Traders as a watchdog when that was on. But hopefully within the next year or two, prices might finally come down to near to where they were. I don't think they'll ever get to where they were before, but I'm holding on to hope that they'll come close. Even Martin Lewis said that prices on things won't tend to go back to what they were before because of deflation, which apparently is a bad thing, but personally I think the less money that comes out of my wallet the better. Though strangely my girlfriend doesn't seem to think that. Maybe the moths in it should fart in her face. But anyway, now that the pee taken from energy companies finally looks like it's on the way out, hopefully things like supermarket prices and other stuff will also start to fall a bit, because let's face it, they have really been putting their prices up, it seems like, every time we walk through their doors, and that personally I think needs to change. Finance experts urged caution as a major building society unveiled a 100% mortgage aimed at renters. A zero deposit track record loan for those who demonstrate a history of paying rent on time has been launched by Skipton Building Society. It comes as Leeds Building Society is offering a package where payments to subscription services such as Netflix could help customers get a mortgage by improving their credit score. Skipton has introduced its deal despite fast rising interest rates, with the Bank of England expected to raise the base rate by a further 0.25% to 4.5% tomorrow, adding around £375 a year to the cost of a £150,000 mortgage. Skipton's package offers a mortgage at 5.49% interest with a repayment period of up to 35 years and a maximum monthly payment capped at the amount customers have been paying in rent. And this rate is fixed for 5 years and is available for first-time buyers aged 21 and over with a minimum of 12 months rental history. But experts have voiced reservations, even though the deal could help aspiring homeowners get off the rental treadmill. Nigel Purves, I hope I pronounced that right, the co-founder and CEO of Wayhome, said there's a very real risk of buyers falling into negative equity should property values start to fall. And given the unsettled market conditions, such a change is far from out of the question and could see buyers lumbered with their property and unable to remortgage until the time market values recover. Those who are truly serious about solving the housing crisis should be looking at alternative approaches that can solve the problem in a sustainable way that is accessible to more people. But David Hollingworth, Associate Director at broker L&C Mortgages, countered, there will always be concerns. No deposit could risk negative equity, but this is a longer term product for that reason, and if it can help accelerate the move from renting into ownership, then it could be significant. Also, this mortgage is specifically for renters, so I'm sorry people with mortgages or homeowners already, it's not for you. Even though that 0% deposit does actually sound quite nice, doesn't it? But, I have said in the past that personally, if I can afford my rent, I should be able to afford a mortgage with the same payment. And I do believe that's true. And for the majority of renters, it more than likely will be. However, if you currently claim housing benefit or there's a housing benefit element to you on the universal credit, if you're on benefits or anything like that, then even though you can pay your rent, because obviously you get that benefit, you unfortunately won't be getting that benefit anymore once you own the house. So therefore, you'll have to pay out more in general. So for those people, they might find it a bit harder to manage their finances. And you know, don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to tar everyone on benefits with the same brush, but unfortunately there are some people on benefits that don't really give a crap about paying their rent on time or anything like that at all. And it's only those people I am talking about where I say it might be a bit more of a risk. But if that doesn't affect you, and of course you've got no problem in paying the rent, then this is really good news for you, isn't it? Because it obviously removes the obstacle of having a deposit, which to be honest can actually be quite hard for us to renters to save up, because renting is surely nearly always more expensive than actually having a mortgage in the first place, because the landlord, whoever that may be, is going to want to make a profit on their investment, isn't they? Which is understandable, of course. So therefore prices are more than likely going to be at least a couple of £100 more than what the landlord's mortgage payment is. And not only that, but they can put the payments up once a year if they so choose. I mean, it wasn't so long ago when they put my payments up from £640 a month to £725, an £85 increase. I was fuming until I looked on Rightmove, that is, and actually found for that £725 a month you can't really get anything bigger than a cat litter tray now, it seems. And yes, obviously they've done it because their mortgage payments probably went up, and yeah, I can understand that. However, how often do you reckon they'd actually put the rent down once their payment's lower? I'm guessing they probably won't. So something like this is bound to be good for us renters to get on the property market at last. And I myself would have bought a house much sooner had I had a deposit. But obviously when you pay more rent, it's obviously going to be harder to save up, isn't it? And of course I know that there was a big crash in 2008 when they were offering 125% mortgages, but hopefully these people have actually learned from that and put such conditions in place to protect both them and of course their customers a bit better than companies did back then. Otherwise there could surely be a lot of people losing out here, couldn't there? And in more good news, not only for renters but of course everyone else this time, is in this video with what Poundland has decided to do, which hopefully everyone else will follow. Anyway, subscribe for more and I'll see you in the next one.